Generics in React components with TypeScript allow you to create reusable components that can work with various data types while maintaining type safety like this. By using generics, you can define a component that accepts various data types and props of a specific type, which can be specified when the component is used. As you can see here, this option is automatically inferred like this by the options that we have provided to our generic components. This enables better type inference, reduces the likelihood of runtime errors, and enhances code readability, making it easier to build flexible and robust React applications. So let's get started. But before we continue, creating these types of tutorials with this quality is both hard and really time consuming. And by liking, subscribing, and asking your questions down below, you're gonna really help me out. Thanks. If you're new to generics in general in TypeScript, it can be a little bit tricky at first, but you're gonna get familiar with it very soon. Imagine that I have a list component here, and I'm gonna define its properties with TypeScript like this. Type list props is equal to, it's gonna get a list of options with the type of an array of options. Let me just add a break here. Then I'm gonna add a render option node here that we're gonna pass from our parent to each instance of this component like this, which is gonna get an option argument, which is gonna be of type option, and it simply returns a simple React node like this. And let me just define the option type here. For example, our option or each row of our list is going to have an ID of type string, a label of type string, and a price, for example, of type number. For example, imagine that we are going to render a list of our products. Then I'm going to use my defined types here, list props, and I'm gonna destruct the options and render option from it. Then I'm gonna simply return a React element like this. I'm gonna simply render an unordered list HTML element, and inside it, I'm gonna map over the options here. And for each iteration, I'm gonna get the option. And for each iteration, I'm gonna simply render a list item here. For its key element, key property, I'm gonna pass the option.id. Then I simply use the render option provided by the parent component, and I simply pass the option here. With this way, for example, the user can provide his own unique style of implementation of each item on our list by providing his desired render option. And for example, we can create a headless component that we can, for example, handle pagination or other related things to lists and give the user the maximum flexibility to implement his unique style. Now, if I want to create an example out of this list component here, I'm going to return my list component by providing my list of options like this, and a very simple render option. I'm going to get the option here. Then I'm going to return, for example, an empty fragment. Then for each iteration, I simply render a paragraph for the label of each item. Then, for example, its price. But the problem with this implementation is that I cannot pass anything out of this hard-coded type here inside our list component definition. So it has the least amount of flexibility and it's not very reusable. But if you try to create a relation between the provided options and our render option method here, we're gonna experience the maximum level of type safety inside TypeScript. So let me just remove the declared option here and also these ones here. And for simplicity, I'm gonna use any for now for my option type. And to define generics in TypeScript, the syntax is to use angle brackets like this, and here we can specify our desired generics. For example, I'm gonna first define a generic for our options and render option method here with the name of option for better readability. But the convention is to use most of the time only a simple uppercase character, but you can use the whole purpose of your generic by providing its full name. if you're confused, imagine that we're gonna creating a simple function with a simple argument like this. And whenever we are trying to pass arguments to our function, we're gonna pass them inside the parentheses like this. And imagine for types like arguments and parameters for functions, but the syntax is to use angle brackets like this instead of parentheses. Now here, let me just change the option to a simple O here for simplicity. And here with the help of our created generic here, we can simply create a relation between the array of options and each iteration of rendering of our options like this. Now, the TypeScript is unhappy because we have defined a generic for our list properties, but the TypeScript is telling us that this list properties also needs an argument. And we're gonna simply pass it as a simple O, but also again, the TypeScript is not happy. And because we need to define the O generic when we are passing it to our types. And where should we get this? When we are defining our components like this exactly before the parentheses that we are destructing and getting our properties, we can also get and define our generics like this. But don't forget to put a comma at the end of it because it's necessary for TypeScript language server to work. And you're gonna see why for a few moments. Don't forget to add a comma after your generic declaration. Now, if I head over to my previous example here, imagine that, for example, I'm gonna add a new field here to my options, for example, with the name of quantity of type, for example, 10. And here I can simply add it like this. And as you saw, the TypeScript language server and VS Code are gonna help me out a lot and prevent me from, for example, accessing undefined properties like this by inferring the option arguments from our options array. Now, the other thing that you should know is that in React, when we are iterating over a list using map here, we're gonna need to provide an ID, an unique ID for each iteration by providing a simple key property. But as you can see here, the TypeScript cannot find an ID here because in nowhere we have defined an ID for our option. So first of all, we're gonna tell the TypeScript that we are 100% sure that in each use case of this list component, we're gonna provide you with an array of options that all of them at least has an ID field. And also we're gonna use the IntelliSense and autocomplete of TypeScript to help user to provide the correct data and the ID. So we are 100% sure that whatever the type of our provided options is, we're 100% sure that in each option of our options array, we at least have the ID field. To do that, we're gonna extend our generic here by a simple ID string type here. And after that, instead of adding a comma here, when we are getting generics and inferring it from our list usage, we're gonna exactly do the same for the inferred generic like this. And as you can see here, if we don't put anything here except for the ID like this, the TypeScript is happy with us and won't throw us an error. But if we provide, for example, the label of the product without providing the ID, the TypeScript is not happy and is telling us that we should provide the ID for each item of this options array here, like this. Handling generics combining with the ref forwarding in TypeScript is not pretty straightforward in TypeScript and React, because there is no a direct way to implement this, and we are gonna do a little bit extra work. This example is the same as previous one, with only a difference that we're gonna pass our ref object from our parent to our list here. And we are gonna see an example of it, so you're gonna know that what is its practical use case. The properties are the same. We are getting the generics and defining them like this. But the difference is that after we are getting and destructing our properties like this, on the second element of our function, our component definition here, we're gonna specify our type for our ref, which is gonna be of type forwarded ref providing by React. And because we're gonna use an unordered list element here, we're gonna pass its corresponding HTML element here for the best possible type safety. Now we can easily pass our ref object to our element here, and like this we're going to pass a ref object from our parent. But with this implementation here, the TypeScript does not know anything about the usage example of our implemented listener component. And because of that, we're going to use a very simple type assertion here for our list component. So I'm going to use the forwardRef method from React itself, and I'm going to pass the listener component that we just created, and we're going to wrap it inside our forwardRef here. And we're going to use type assertion here to tell TypeScript that we are 100% sure that this wrapped list component is of this type. If you pay attention closely, you're going to see it's the same here, here, and here, but with a little bit different here. Here, in our component definition, we are using two separate arguments for our declaration because it's necessary for forwarding ref in React. But here, when we are going to use it and assert its corresponding type here, we're going to intersect our props like this by a ref object like this, and our component is going to return a React node or whatever that you want. Now, after our hard work, we can simply provide our options here and our render option component here for maximum flexibility. But now we can easily define our ref here and provide it as a prop to our list component using the power of ref forwarding in React. And now we have full control over our unordered list component by using this list ref that we have created earlier, and we have direct access to our underlying HTML element inside our DOM. In this example, I'm going to use and create a button that scrolls the list component to the top by using the scroll to method on the unordered list HTML element on our DOM, and we're going to scroll it to the top of the component. And here is our very simple example. We have implemented a very simple list that we are gonna show the user a list of our products. And if I scroll down a little bit, for example, to the end of the list here, and if I hit on scroll to top here, you see that we have direct access to our reference in our children inside our parent component here. So we can easily interact and control the intrinsic properties of our children inside our parent provider component. Now, with these two examples here that we just learned in this tutorial, the left one is without forwarding ref and the right one is with forwarding ref. We're going to be able to enhance our React components to make them extra type safe with the power of generics here. And the thing that I need to note here is that for most of the time, we're going to use the live implementation because most of the time there's no need to pass the ref from parent to your child component. And if you're gonna need extra flexibility on your components here, you can simply pass your ref object from your parent to your child element like this.